Let's try this again. I started recording and it was so I've got the windows open because it's actually nice here. And between having something on my teeth and it being loud outside and the cat just continuously jumping up here, I was like, I gotta start over. All right. So, if you'll recall, if you've been here for a while, I used to put out budgeting content. And while that is not going to be the focus of our time together, I do think that it's important simply because of the niche that I'm going into with regards to my coaching business and my digital products that I'm going to be putting out there. When I was focused on my income, when I was focused on my money situation, my money grew exponentially. And so I do think that there is a lot of power in that. And there are things in my life that I need to save for. I need an entirely new wardrobe, not out of desire, but out of necessity. All of my t-shirts have holes in them, except for the big giant t-shirts that I do not wear out of the house most of the time, unless I have to, because the 7 other shirts that I have are either too holy or too dirty. And so um, I also have not had a proper haircut in several years. I've done my own hair for the last several years. Um, And I'm really tired of doing that. And if nothing else, I also need some things for my car. And so the goal is to be able to focus on that again and have some accountability for myself by sharing some of that content with you. And I know from watching other people's content like this that what we focus on expands, and what we focus on really is important in the grand scheme of things, and it's important in how we go about life. How we view ourselves impacts how we show up in the world. And our limiting beliefs really do impact our wallet, whether it be financial views of ourselves and the world around us, or just our individual views of ourselves. If we feel like crap or shit about ourselves, we are not going to show up in a way that encourages more financial abundance. If we do not feel like we are worthy of a certain amount of money, we will not go after opportunities that would provide that amount of money. I found that out a couple months ago when I was looking for a job. There was an executive assistant job that I was fully qualified for and have experience in all of the things, and the income on that was $60,000, and that would be more than money than I have ever made in my whole life. And I was really anxious about applying. I did anyway, and I didn't hear about that job. And by what I noticed is that after I didn't hear anything, I stopped applying for those types of positions because me not getting a call was an indicator to me that what I was thinking was correct. And I don't believe that for a second. So anyway, I'm realizing now how limited that thinking was and how much of a limiting belief I had about my own capabilities and desires and all of that stuff. So while I have done an enormous amount of work, and I have worked with quite a number of other people on this very situation, in this very scenario. I am not done with this work yet. And I do think that it's ever evolving, that, you know, I watched Hillary Clinton's speech not long ago at the DNC, and she started talking about cracks in the glass ceiling and what is beyond that. And we all have glass ceilings for ourselves. And while I have busted through about 10 layers of glass for myself, or 15 layers of glass, or financial matters are concerned, and then, just my overall feelings of myself, I have busted through layers upon layers upon layers. What I'm recognizing is that work is never done. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that we should all be striving to grow, to become better, and to become stronger versions of ourselves. Um, and that is the goal of my coaching services. And that is my goal as a human. Um, if you recall in the previous content, when I had a couple of bank accounts that I started locally here, and then I got a credit card through that same bank. Um, and I don't know if all banks are like this that do that, but this particular one, and then my income tanked drastically. And I went from about $3,000 a month to about 500, and I was living off of my savings. So I was not keeping up with doing the absolute bare minimum. My credit has tanked and everything else, because of just a lack of funds. So, they have locked down all of my accounts, not just the credit card, but all of the bank accounts. I cannot use them until I get caught up to within, I think, 60 days of the due date. So that's a problem. And I think that kind of speaks to that whole don't shit where you eat kind of thing. So, more than likely, I will not be using those accounts again. I might keep them just in case, but I will not be using them. So I do want to kind of go through some structural things. I'm not going to give you bank names or account names. I'm going to give you recommendations for certain things. But so I use Square for my billing when I bill out to clients, and Square offers a checking account and a savings account option. And the cool thing about their savings accounts options is that you can designate a certain percentage go through to those savings. So anytime that you have a transaction go through Square, it will automatically take out whatever you need. So, from a business standpoint, it would make sense that I have that savings account set up and that I have the 20 to 25% taxes just automatically yanked out of there when it sends my money through. Instead of me manually having to go do it, because believe me, I have forgotten. That's just it. I have totally spaced and forgotten. So that's going to be happening probably next week. I'm going to get that started. Um, then so we'll have the taxes account over there. It's automatically pulled out. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to worry about it. And then, I can do one of two things. I can either leave that money there, or once a month I can pull it out of that account and put it into a high yield savings account. I'm not sure yet what the plan is, but I want to make it hard to get. Like that's the goal there. So we're gonna do that. The next thing is I would like to have one checking account that's designated for bills, and the only thing that goes in there is bill money. And then the bills are either automatically drafted or I go in there and manually do them. I'm going to have a high yield savings account and Ally Bank. Highly recommend them. I've heard nothing but good things about them. But their high yield savings accounts are just basic. They're not money market accounts. They don't have a minimum deposit requirement or anything like that. And they offer like a 4.5% rate, as opposed to like the 1 to 1.5% that you get through most banks. Discover, the credit card company, also has high yield savings accounts and checking accounts as well. Um, so that's what we're gonna do there. So that is where I'm gonna put the money for my vehicle maintenance and clothing and uh personal care, like, self-care stuff like haircuts, etc. Um, and then I may start a bucket for college because I would love to go back to college. Um, and then I'll have one checking account that's actually like my variable spending. So instead of doing cash for um like for gas and groceries and things of that nature and stuff for the house, that's all gonna go into this variable spending account. And then I have my business bank account. So that's kind of the breakdown, and I may close out some accounts that I don't need. We shall see. But the goal is to actually, I don't know, we'll see how I figure that out. But this is kind of the structure that I'm going for. I hope that this makes sense. um, and yeah, I think that this is the best way to do this so that the bills are always in the bills account. The spending is always in the spending account, and when that account is empty, I don't have anything to spend. I have to wait until I get paid again. And every time I get paid, money will go where it needs to go. Until I get to a point where I can say, okay, I'm gonna give myself $500 a week and then distribute that to where it needs to go. So what you're going to see from me is um some cash stuffing, some actual cash stuffing, some of the fake cash stuffing like we've done in the past, where I have my fake bills that I put into accounts just so I can see what's happening and I can pull things out and move them around. And really, as far as I want to make, yeah, I want to keep things in the accounts as best as I can, especially the high yield savings, so that I'm getting the return on that. And just for safety reasons, I don't want a whole bunch of cash in my house. So that's kind of where we're at. I hope that this made sense. I hope that this was interesting and that you'll stick around for that content. We're gonna still do our other content where we talk about limiting beliefs and all of the stuff. I've actually got a new workbook that I'm putting together, and I think that it will be incredibly useful and incredibly helpful. Um, yeah, I hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.